AGM within 4 months from the closing of the year. So you must have a timetable by what date latest you have to complete your audit and give the report. If you are a subsidiary, then what are the requirements of the head office for reporting purposes? All these things are timing. So you have to understand the objective of reporting. Clear? The third one is the direction. That is significant factors. If you don't tell your staff members what are the significant factors which affects your audit, you probably will not be able to carry out the audit in an efficient manner. Clear? And then if you decide all these three, then it will guide you to help, that will guide you to develop audit plan. Right? अब ये है कि this is the starting point of making the plan. अब तक हमने जो बात समझी है और कही है वो है the process कि किस तरह से audit plan बनता है. अब हम actually किस तरह से बनाना है audit plan, उस पे काम करेंगे. Is it clear? अब तक हमने background सारा ले लिया. Now actually we are involved in making the plan. Clear है? Overview में कोई problem है? Background clear है? Now let us start with this. Scope समझने के लिए, as you said, that characteristics of the engagement has to be understood. And what does that mean? Let's see. Consider, while preparing the strategy, you have to consider characteristics of the engagement, then reporting objective, as we said. Number 3 was nature of the communication you are going to make. Nature of communication, a practical example, when you are doing the audit of banks, you have to report to State Bank in certain format. You know that? MRCA, many things are there. So you have to understand what are your reporting liabilities, observation. See? These reporting objectives should be in your mind while you make the plan. Then significant factors has to be identified. Results of preliminary activities has to be recorded. Nature and timing of extent of resources, that is human resource, right? So these are the things you have to consider while you are preparing the strategy. Now let's get into the characteristics of the engagement. इसके मतलब क्या है, उसमें what are the things to be involved in it. Number 1, financial reporting framework. When you are going to do the audit of any financial statement, you have to know what are the financial framework, right? In Pakistan, what is the financial framework? And corporate governance and directives and audit SMA standards, 4th schedule, 5th schedule. So you have to understand before you carry out the audit what is the financial framework, right? आपको IFRS के तहत जाना है. If you are doing the audit of a subsidiary for consolidation purpose only, then probably company's ordinance may not come into play. If you are doing statutory audit, then okay, both of them will come. Or they may come up and say, you carry out the statutory audit and also you carry out the audit according to IFRS for consolidation purpose. So these are the objectives you have to keep in mind before. So this is part of the strategy. Whether you have to carry out the audit according to IFRS only, or according to SME, or according to IFRS and company's ordinance, or according to IFRS and banking company's ordinance, insurance company's ordinance, mudarabas, whatever it is. So you have to understand beforehand that what a financial framework has to be considered while carrying out the audit. So this is part of your characteristics of the engagement. ओवरऑल स्ट्रेटजी बनाने में ये सबसे बहुत बड़ा काम है. आपके स्टाफ ने जाके IFRS पे अकाउंट्स बना दिए, आपको पता चला एट द एंड, oh my God, it was a MSc. Is it efficient? Is it efficient? If you are a partner, what would you do? You kick your staff or you kick yourself? And probably kick yourself because you are at fault. ठीक है ना? So this is the thing you have to keep in mind while making the plan. What are the characteristics? The first characteristic is what is the financial reporting framework? That is the most important one. ठीक? Okay, number 2, industry specific reporting requirements such as mandated by industry regulations. As I said earlier, State Bank wants the report at the end of the audit from the statutory auditors. MRC की reports हैं, ठीक है? इस तरह से इंश्योरेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट है. बहुत सारे ऐसी रिक्वायरमेंट है इंडस्ट्रीज की जो आपको एज एन ऑडिटर कंप्लीट करनी है. कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस की रिपोर्ट है. सो ऑल दिस आर टू बी कंसिडर्ड. अपार्ट फ्रॉम योर ऑडिट रिपोर्ट, what are other reporting requirements you have to carry out based on the industry you are auditing? Clear? Clear है नहीं? जैसे for example, if you go for the security industry, guns, you cannot carry out the operation even for one day if your license expires. If your license expires, you cannot carry out your operation even for a single day. You have to keep in mind. What will be the impact on your audit report? Going concern. Going concern का issue आएगा ना? So you have to understand the regulated industries. So what are the requirements? This is part of the characteristics of the engagement. Clear? Any question? मुझे नींद आती है. सवाल पूछेंगे तो बात भी होगी. Now expected audit coverage including numbers and location. Take for example, if you are doing an audit of a company who has got segment reporting and each segment is located in different parts of the country, the world. So let us restrict ourselves within the country, right? एक आपका segment कराची में है, एक लाहौर में है, एक हैदराबाद में, पेशावर में, गॉड फॉरबिड कहाँ पे, right? Now you have to make a decision, right? Which segment you are going to focus more, right? For example, you have to carry out the stock check. And do you think that you should visit every location where the stock is lying? Every location? No. You have to see where is the major stock, right? And small stock does not mean you should not visit it. You can visit it in rotation. 1 year, 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year. If you got 10 small locations, not necessarily that you visit all the 10 locations at one time, right? You can put in rotation, 3 every year. Could be like that, right? So you have to understand what are the numbers and the locations which you are going to consider. Clear? Nature of business segments, including specialized knowledge. कितने segments है वो आपको पता होने चाहिए. Where these are located, what is the characteristics of each segment, right? Whether specialized knowledge is required for that or not. I'll give you an example of my practical experience of my own. This thing, when I was doing my articles, late 60s, I was asked to go to Khewra, no, not Khewra, Hindu Bagh. At that time it was known as Hindu Bagh. Now it is Muslim Bagh. There was a mine where they have to extract chrome out of that. And I was sent to carry out the stock check. If I had not planned beforehand, or if I had not looked at the planning document prepared by my engagement team, I would have been in a fix after reaching there. Because how can I weigh the chrome which has been taken out from the mine? It was dumped, and it was like a heap, and it was not in the same height. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. I did not know how to carry out the count or weightage.